Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and today we're going to do just a little bit more maintenance on my vehicles here. This Ranger's pretty much ready to go. I've got to put those seals on today as well, but we're going to do oil change, diff service, and change the oil in my wife's car. Just figured I'd start with this. I like to pull the car up on the curb to give me a little bit of clearance, that way I don't even have to jack it up. But a lot of times I'll change oil without jacking up the vehicle anyways, just because I can do it and it's not worth the extra step of having to jack it up. Put a jack stand under there, put it up on ramps or whatever. This is pretty safe. So here you can see we've just got it on the curb there, and that'll give me tons of room. There's already plenty of room under these CRVs, but we will go ahead get started. All right, optional step at this point is to undo the oil fill cap. Up here is going to have your weight of oil on most vehicles. Just make sure you put the right kind of oil in. You can't go wrong with full synthetic, so I always recommend that. This will help the oil drain below. In theory, it's nice to have a warm engine, but if you don't remove that, it's going to drain just fine anyways. So that's why I say optional. We'll get below, remove the drain plug from down below now. Put the drain pan under. Never over tighten these, so they shouldn't be hard to undo. Now we'll just finish removing by hand. So the crush washers aren't reusable. A lot of people reuse them. Get yourself a new crush washer and put it on your plug. And add your oil. That's a job well done. All right, first oil, then diff on the Rescue Ranger, Danger Ranger. Same deal as that other one. We'll drain it down below. This is how I recycle my oil. I just take it to AutoZone, but I take it 5 gallons at a time, so I'm not going in there every time I do an oil change. In fact, I have like 3 of these buckets. Oh, it's tight. Oh, it's way tight. Pulling this up. No, I'm gonna cut my wrist on that. All right, we'll use the impact. Don't over tighten your drain plugs, folks. There you go. Give her one pop and get it off of there. Quick and out of the way. Nice and clean. Don't over tighten your drain plugs. Get this just nice and snug. That's all you gotta do. This has a huge oil filter on it. Same one that my diesel truck has. It's about the biggest one they make, and an S8 for the biggest one they make and sell in your local auto parts stores. So we'll make sure it's gonna come off. Let me grab that wrench. There it goes. Just gotta get it started. All right. Guess just get my hand oily and get this off real quick. Big old filter. And I'll just get a rag and clean my hand. It's probably just the quickest, easiest way to do that. All right, we'll get some oil on this new seal. We'll check this old one, make sure that seal came off. Well, I can just look up here on this one and see actually. Yep, it came off. We'll go ahead and install this one. New one there. There it goes. Spin it on, hand tight. quarter turn, and she's done. Make sure that funnel's nice and clean. All right, now onto that rear diff and those axle seals. Well, I guess they're spindles anyways. All right, so some people were asking about those old seals. The reason I didn't put the old ones back on, which I don't prefer to do that anyways, is they're actually just a different style. So yeah, we'll get these new ones on. I got 2 of them, and get this done. All right, so we've got this seal here. All we've got to do is tap it on there. I'm going to find something flat to tap on that with. Maybe just a rubber mallet. This one's kind of small enough that I can just tap gently around the edges. No, not have to worry about using a
Hello, Daddy.
special tool for that. Hey, big buddy, how's it going? All right. That was probably like 10 minutes actually, because I was just taking my time putting everything back together. Same thing for the other side. I'm not going to video it. All right, well, here we are. We've got the Ranger on the curb still where we did the oil earlier. We're going to do a diff service here. The fill plug for the diff is on the front here, but there's no drain plug. We just got to pop the cover off the back. And I don't mind the smell of diff fluid, but I know a lot of people do, so we'll see if my wife likes it or not when I'm done with this job. All right, hopefully you can see a little bit what's going on there. You always want to point your drain pan downhill. Learned that the hard way. Let's see if my eyeball is right. It's not. It's probably a 12, but we'll go down one size at a time. 13, yeah, it's a Ford. It's probably standard, but 13 will work. Get that to set to taking her off mode. And get to taking them off. That's where the leak's coming from, is this top bolt here. You can see it's dirty up on these top runs here. I think you can see that sticky oil here. These are the only ones I'm going to pull all the way out for the time being. I'm just going to keep every other one loose. That way the cover doesn't pop all the way off. When I go to remove it, I can just pop the seal and get it to drain out, and then I'll finish taking them off. But these ones are so greasy, I don't want to come back and mess with these. Just go ahead and take these top ones off right now. In reality, you could leave 2 or 3 and do the same thing, but just do it evenly around. Those are all loose. Let's get a pry bar under here and pop this seal. I'm back. Better than ever. All right. Go. Just let that drain out for a few minutes. It's got like 2.7 quarts or liters or whatever those jugs are measured in there, so this will take just a minute, assuming that it's still most of the way full. All right. well, that's pretty much empty. I'll let that just finish dripping out. I'm gonna go grab a can of brake cleaner. We'll spray it in there just to get most of that old thick gear oil out. And then I'm gonna clean off this gasket, both surfaces, put new sealant on there, and then we'll refill it up. So, yep, that's what we'll do. All right, well, I got all these valleys scraped out here. I'm gonna go take this over to the trash can and get all those last little pieces out of it, and then I don't know if I want to keep that little tag there, but maybe I'll put it back on, and we'll do the differential down there. All right, now I've just got to scrape off this surface. This one's pretty clean and it's all metal anyways and flat, so it should be pretty straightforward. All right, I've got the cover all loaded up with some RTV there. Set that down. Finish cleaning up this surface. So that's ready to go. And then slap them together. So we'll get some started there. We just tighten them down gently. Like that, so it starts to squeeze. Bingo. And we put the rest in here. All right, now that this stuff is set up a bit, we'll tighten it down by hand. I think it's again 18 foot-pounds, so if you got to use a torque wrench, do that. I've got a good feel, so I'm going to do that. All right, now on the front side, just a 3/8 drive fill plug. So we'll put a 3/8 drive extension in there. Pop it loose and fill it up with fluid, and it's a bit tighter up on the front side of that. We're going to keep this drain pan under there because you'll also know when you're completely full because it'll start spilling out of that fill hole. Well, I thought I was going to round this out. I tapped on it for a while with the brass mallet and it finally came loose, but that was in there really tight. Started to round just a bit. That's when I took to tapping it, and anyways, it came out. So we're not going to over tighten that when we put it back in, but there's that. We'll clean that off with the rag. It should have a magnet on there to catch metal flakes in that slurry gear oil. Slowly but surely is the name of the game here. In fact, you know what? I'm using this hose because I'm used to using this, having to use this hose. I think I can probably do this without the hose though, so let me do that. Just keep that gear oil over there. And I think if I do this right, there we go. Yep, that'll work. that's nice. A lot of times just stuff on here isn't too tight of a space to be able to use the actual thing with it. In fact, the last time I was at the store, they had these plastic bags that were gear oil. It was like a quart or whatever this is. I guess it's a quart. Yeah, gear oil. But they were in plastic bags that you could bend, you know, up into tight spaces. So that was a real cool idea. They just didn't have it in the weight of oil I needed, but at least this works. Alright, that one's empty. Basically 2 more of those. Keep them on my drain pan here so they don't spill out. See if I can reach that with my foot down there. There we go. Oh, this one's coming out way faster. We'll be done here in just a second. That's why we have that drain pan there. I guess it's because the first one I used was Lucas, so it probably had additives in it to thicken it up. Alright, and that's how you know it gets full. It'll start coming out of there. Or you can measure it, but when they tell you themselves, that's just as handy. Okay, we'll tighten this up, we'll clean it up, and that'll be a job well done. Tired of working on this truck because it's my own. Alright, I just got that tightened down, and that's a job well done. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you liked the video. Check out the other videos, and I'll see you on the next episode.